Good morning, students. Welcome back to the zoology class. Last class, we discussed up to history of classification, who was known as the father of zoology, Aristotle. That's the name of the book he published, Historia Animalium. Then, after Aristotle, his student Theophrastus started to classify the organism. He mainly classified the plants. So he was known as the father of botany. Then in 16th century, John Gray, his most important contribution was the establishment of species as the ultimate unit of taxonomy. Then he also published one book, Methodus Plantarum Nova. Then Linnaeus, father of modern taxonomy, he was the founder of modern systematics, developed a scientific system of taxonomy, binomial nomenclature. Then after Linnaeus, Ernest Haeckel, he introduced the method of representing evolutionary relationship with the help of a tree diagram known as cladogram. Today we are going to start the next topic, three domains of life. What is three domains of life? Three domains of life means here one biologist was Carl Ois. In 1977, he only proposed these three domains of life. According to Carl Ois, the life of living organism originated from three important organisms, that is archaea, bacteria, eukarya. He classified the organisms into three, that is three domains of life: archaea, bacteria, eukarya. First one is domain archaea. In this domain, archaea include single-celled organisms. The organisms have only one cell. The single cell acts as a living organism. They are prokaryotes. What is prokaryotes? Pro means primitive. Karyo means nucleus. Dear students, if you need, you write it in your notebook. Prokaryotes means the organism which have primitive nucleus, which means it does not have true nucleus. The nucleus name is called incipient nucleus. The nucleus, usually nucleus is one of the important cell organelle. The nucleus is surrounded by nuclear membrane, but in prokaryotes the nucleus does not contain nuclear membrane. All the nuclear materials are scattered in the cytoplasm. So the prokaryotes, they does not have definite nucleus. So in the domain archaea, all the organisms are single celled condition. Then they are prokaryotes, they does not have definite nucleus, and they have the ability to grow in extreme conditions like volcano vents. Volcano, the heat evolved from the geothermal region. Then hot springs and polar ice caps. So they are called extremophiles. This single cell organism we can see in the volcanic vents, hot springs and polar ice caps. So they are called extremophiles. Extremophiles is the 2-mark question. This extremophile, this single cell organism, they capable of synthesizing their food without sunlight. And without sunlight and oxygen, they utilizing hydrogen sulfide and other chemicals from the volcanic vents. The plants, they utilize for the preparation of the food, the sunlight and oxygen, carbon dioxide. But this single cell organism, they are not using the sunlight and oxygen. Instead of sunlight and oxygen, they are using hydrogen sulfide and other chemicals from the volcanic events. With the help of this hydrogen sulfide, they are preparing their own food. Then some of the produced methane, some of these single cell organisms, they are producing methane. So they are called methanogens. Two more question. If they produce methane, they are known as methanogens. Then some of the single cell organisms, they live in salty environment. Salty environment. So they are called halophiles. Halophiles. Then some of them live in acidic environment. Acidic environment. Acid. So they are known as thermoacidophiles. Why they are known as thermoacidophiles? This domain archaea organism, they are living acidic environment and also high temperature. So they are known as thermoacidophiles. Thermo means they are living in high temperature. Thermal temperature. Acidophile means they are living in the acidic environment also. This is about domain archaea. Archaea include single cell organism. They are prokaryotes. They are live in volcanic vents, so they are known as extremophiles. Some of the organisms produce methane, so they are called methanogens. Some of them live in salty environment, so they are called halophiles. Some of them live in acidic and high temperature, so they are called thermoacidophiles. Next one is domain bacteria. Bacteria also prokaryote. You know the prokaryote meaning the organism which does not have definite nucleus. Their cells have no definite nucleus, so they are prokaryote. Definite nucleus and DNA. Exists as a circular chromosome. They have no definite nucleus and the DNA exists as a circular chromosome. DNA is in circular in nature. They do not have histones associated with it. Usually the DNA molecules associated with the histone on protein molecules, but bacteria, they does not contain histone protein molecules in the DNA. Where we can see this histone molecules? The histone molecules is found in the eukaryotes. Bacteria is a prokaryote that does not have definite nucleus. Then what is the meaning of eukaryote? The organism which have definite nucleus, they are known as eukaryotes. We also belong into the eukaryotes. The eukaryotes organism DNA have histone protein molecules, but the bacteria, the histone protein molecule is absent in the DNA. They do not possess membrane-bound organelles except for ribosome. Membrane-bound organelles means mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi body, like the main important cell organelles there. These cell organelles are absent in the bacteria. The bacteria only have ribosome. What type of ribosome? 70S type of ribosome. Ribosomes are two types. 8S type and 70S type. This is based on some subunits. So in the bacteria contain 70S type of ribosome. Their cell wall contain peptidoglycans. Underline this point, peptidoglycans. Peptidoglycans is one protein molecules. The cell wall of the bacteria is made up of peptidoglycans. Then many are decomposers. Many are decomposers means many of the bacteria help to decompose the waste material. You know, if we throw some ripened fruits or waste vegetables to outside, after 2 or 3 days we can't see that waste vegetables or fruits. Where it go? Because they are decomposed by these bacteria. So that is known, so they are called decomposers. Some are photosynthesis. Some are photosynthesis means some bacteria, they are directly preparing their food with the help of sunlight, carbon dioxide, like plants. So they are known as photosynthesizers. Some bacteria, they can cause diseases. Bacteria. Many bacterial diseases are there. So some of the bacteria cause diseases. Then based on the function, there are based on the beneficial and harmful character, this bacteria is divided into probiotic bacteria and pathogenic bacteria. This is important question, 2 mark question. You mark it. Differentiate probiotic bacteria and pathogenic bacteria. Probiotic bacteria, they are beneficial bacteria. Can you say one example for beneficial bacteria? Curd. Curd is the best source of probiotics, which are friendly bacteria that can improve our health. Curd, milk is converted to curd by lactobacillus bacteria. Lactobacillus bacteria. Curd. Curd is an example for probiotic bacteria. What is pathogenic bacteria? Bacteria which cause some diseases. Bacteria. Pneumococcus bacteria. Pneumococcus bacteria. Tuberculosis bacteria. The bacteria Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This bacteria will cause tuberculosis disease. So pathogenic bacteria means that harmful to our body and it cause some diseases. Example tuberculosis, pneumonia, the example. Then here I told you some bacteria are photosynthesizer. They are directly preparing food from the sunlight. Example for these photosynthesizers are cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria is otherwise known as blue-green algae. Blue-green algae. They are photosynthetic blue-green which produce oxygen. These cyanobacteria play a key role in the changes of atmospheric oxygen level from anaerobic to aerobic during early geologic period. These bacteria help to release, because they are photosynthesis, they are utilizing carbon dioxide and sunlight for preparing the food. After preparing the food, they are releasing more oxygen to the atmosphere. So they are the oxygen releasers. Domain bacteria, they are prokaryotic, they have no definite nucleus, the DNA is circular in nature, the DNA does not associate with the histone protein, then the membrane bound cell organelles are absent in the bacteria, only 70th type ribosomes are present. Then some of the bacteria are photosynthesizer, some of them are decomposers, some of them cause diseases. Based on the beneficial character, bacteria classified into probiotic bacteria and pathogenic bacteria. Probiotic bacteria that is help for us, then pathogenic bacteria that cause disease. The next one is domain eukarya. Eukarya is otherwise eukaryotes. Eu means true, karyo means nucleus. The organs which have true nucleus. Eukaryotes are animals which have true nucleus. It is just opposite to bacteria. Bacteria, they does not have any membrane bound cell organelles, but they have membrane. Eukaryotes, they have membrane bound organelles. Example for membrane bound cell organelle: mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi apparatus, etc. DNA in the nucleus is arranged as linear chromosome. There in bacteria, the DNA is circular and they does not associate histone. But in eukaryotes, the DNA is linear straight manner, and they associated with the histone protein. There bacteria ribosomes are 7S type. Here bacteria, the ribosomes are 8S type. The cytosol. What is cytosol? Cytoplasm. Then chloroplast and mitochondria is there. Both are 7S type. Ribosome 8S type. Chloroplast and mitochondria is 7S type. Someday they will ask differentiate bacteria and eukarya. Here some points are there. You noted that all the points. See here one flow chart. 3-domain system. Now 3-domain system was proposed by Carl Woese, archaea, bacteria, eukarya. Then after that, Whittaker, 1969, R.H. Whittaker proposed the 5-kingdom classification. Whittaker classified the entire living organism into 5. Here Carl Woese classified the entire living organism into 3. Archaea, bacteria, eukarya. Here Whittaker classified the organism into 5. They are known as 5 kingdom system. What are 5 kingdom? Kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. Here he classified the entire living organisms into 5 kingdom. Then after that some biologists convert this 5 kingdom into 6 kingdom. What are the 6 kingdom? Kingdom Bacteria, kingdom Archaea, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. What is kingdom Bacteria? All the bacteria will come under kingdom Bacteria. Archaea, all the single cell organisms will come under Archaea. Protista, this is also unicellular organism. Fungi, mushroom, bread mold, all in the substance will come under fungi. Plantae means all the plants. Animalia means all animals. So in their living world they divide into 6 kingdom. After that, next Cavalier Smith, page number 7. About 7 kingdom classification is there. You mark that. Who proposed the 7 kingdom system? Cavalier Smith. Here he classified the entire living organism into 7 kingdom. Eubacteria, Archaea, bacteria, Protozoa, Chromista. All the fungi will come. All the algae will come under this Chromista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Then one table is there, table 1.1, 5 kingdom classification, kinds of kingdom. First, the 5 kingdom classification was proposed by R.H. Whittaker. Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. What are the salient features? Cell type, cell wall, body organization, mode of nutrition. Monera, cell type prokaryote. You know the meaning of prokaryote. Protista, eukaryote. Fungi, eukaryote. They have 2 nucleus. Plantae, eukaryote. Animalia, eukaryote. Cell wall. Monera, non-cellulose structure. The cell wall does not contain cellulose. Protista, present in some Protista have the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Then fungi, the cell wall is present. Plantae, cell wall is present. Animalia, animal cell wall is absent. Body organization. Monera, cellular in nature. Each single cell acts as a living individual organism. Single cell. Protista also, each single cell acts as a living individual. Example, amoeba, single cell, but it acts as an individual organism. But fungi, multicellular tissue organism. Fungi have many cells. The cells are arranged into group. The group of cells are known as tissues. Then Plantae, they are also tissue and organ system is there. Animalia, tissue, organ system is there. Animals have the tissue is there, organ is there, organ system is there. The last mode of nutrition, Monera, autotrophic and heterotrophic. They will prepare their own food, otherwise they will depend upon the other organism. Protista also autotrophy or heterotrophy. They will prepare their own food or they will depend upon the other organism. Fungi, heterotrophy, they entirely depend on the other organism. Plantae, autotrophy, they will prepare their own food. Animalia, heterotrophic, they will depend upon the other organism for getting their food. The next one is taxonomic category. Classification involves hierarchy of steps where each step represents a rank or category. Each step represents a rank or category. Various steps of the classification hierarchy are called taxonomy category. Here Now you know many biologists they classify the organism, living organism in different types, three domain, five kingdoms, six kingdoms, seven kingdoms, everything we discussed. Now hierarchy system. This is a 5 mark question, important question. Hierarchy system of classification. At the time of classification, the biologists they are keeping the animals into each level. So therefore, some steps. The classification involve a hierarchy of steps where each step represents a rank or category. Various steps of classification hierarchy are called taxonomy categories. Each level in the hierarchy represents an increase in organizational complexity, which means like ascending order. Ascending order means we are going from small to big. We are starting from small to big. Like this, the taxonomic hierarchy also start from small to big. First level is they classify the organism based on some characters. Next level is 2 or more characters combined there. After the last level, many characters combined to form a last level of classification. You just keep in mind the taxonomy hierarchy start from small to big, simple system to complex system. So each level the hierarchy represents an increase in organizational complexity. The first level of classification is the species. I told you the level of classification start from small to big. But this is the first level of classification. It is the basic. Species is the basic unit of classification. Don't forget species is the basic step of classification. Then each step will arrange above that species. So species is a group of individuals in which the individuals can interbreed among themselves. What is species? Species is the basic unit of classification. It is a group of animals having similar morphological features. For example, one of the example for species is human beings. Human beings are they are different color, different height and weight. Anyway, they are belonging to one species. They having similar morphological features. Morphology, external appearance is almost all the human beings are same. Then they are reproductive isolated to produce fertile offsprings. They are human being can mate with another one human being. So they are interbreed among themselves. Interbreed among themselves. So member of a species have a large number of similar characters. Members of a species have you just keep it in your mind. The example of species is man. Man. The members of a species have a large number of similar characters. Example of the species Panthera leo, lion. Lion is an example. The next level of The next level of classification is genus. Genus. Species is the smallest and basic unit on the after that genus. What is genus? Very important. A group of closely related species is called genus. Two or more species are together known as genus. What is species? There is only group of individuals are there. Group of individuals are known as species. Group of species together form a genus. Example, lion. Here in some botany examples are there that no need you write for that, but zoological example. Lion, Panthera leo. Leopard, Panthera pardus. And tiger, Panthera tigris are the members of the genus Panthera. Lion, leopard, tiger. These three are belonging to three different species, but they are the members of the same genus Panthera. The first name Panthera leo, Panthera pardus, Panthera tigris. Panthera is a genus name. Leo, pardus, tigris is the species name. So these three different, lion is one species, leopard is another one, tiger is another one, isn't it? But these three species are not closely these three species are closely related species, so they are called genus. They are the members of the genus. Order. A group of closely related families is called order. Dear students, you study this step by species. Group of individual is called species. Group of closely related species known as genus. Group of closely related genus is called family. Group of closely related family is called order. Order and the higher taxonomic categories are identified based on the aggregates of character. In the order, we can see the many characters. Based on the many characters, they are keeping the animals in the different order. In animals, Felidae and Conchidae, they belong into the same order, Carnivora. Felidae and Conchidae, they are belonging to the Consider and Canidae, they are belonging to the same order, Carnivora. How they are classified, these animals? This category include one or more related families which show few common features. The next one is class. Class is a major category made of one or more related orders that possesses certain similar correlated characters. Group of orders together known as class. Example, class Mammalia. Kingdom. Animalia is divided into many classes. Class mammal. Mammal means milkidae. There is a number of order. Class mammal. Mammal means milk-yielding animals. They have number of orders like carnivora, flesh-eating animal, rodentia, rodents, that squirrel-like organs, primata, mangi, insectivora, insect-eating plants. All will come under this class Mammalia. All this order because they possesses mammary glands, external ears, and hairs. The next level of classification is group of closely related classes is called phylum. Example, the kingdom, the phylum phylum Chordata, phylum Annelida. Did you study this? The animal kingdom is divided in many phylum. Phylum Protozoa, Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Chordata. Then this Chordata again divided into many subphylum and classes. Class Pisces, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves, and class Mammalia. They are belonging to the phylum Chordata. Under the phylum Chordata, these classes will come. So, what is phylum? A group of closely related classes is called phylum. Here see how many classes will come under this phylum Chordata. Pisces, class Pisces, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves, and class Mammalia. They are belonging to the phylum Chordata. The last level of classification is the kingdom. There are many kingdoms. First we saw that 3 domain, 5 kingdoms, 6 kingdoms, 7. Here the last level of classification is kingdom. The entire living organism is divided under this kingdom. A group of all the related phyla is called kingdom. The group of phylum belongs to the kingdom. Kingdom Plantae, which means all the plants will come under the kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Animalia, all animals will come under this kingdom Animalia. Under this kingdom Animalia, many phylums are there. Last I told you what are the phylums. Kingdom Protozoa, phylum Protozoa, Porifera, Coelenterata, then Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, and Chordata. These are the some phylums. They will come under kingdom. This is the last level of classification. See here the levels of classification: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. What is the basic unit of classification? Species. What is species? Group of individuals that have a similar character. They are known as species. Number of closely related species is combined to form a genus. The genus is two type: polytypic genus and monotypic genus. Monotypic genus contain only one type of species. Polytypic genus contain more than one type of species. Number of closely related genus combined to form a family. Number of families combined to form a order. Number of order combines to form a class. Number of classes combined to form a phylum. Number of phylum combined to form a kingdom.